Yo, what's poppin', good people? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so right now the time is about, I don't even know why I'm looking at my wrist, I don't have my watch on, but the time right now is 11:30 p.m. in Bulgaria. That is like 10 Central European time. And the first day of the RMR just ended. And you know, as much as I wanted to make a video about some of the games, you know, later on, I didn't really imagine recording that one, but a really crazy thing just happened in the server. So for those of you that have been following the first day, might have noticed that NaVi just beat Illuminar 16-5. And you know, for those of you that didn't watch the game, obviously this is not a surprising score in terms of, you know, NaVi beating Illuminar and making it work in such a comfortable fashion. But one thing was actually really interesting, and that was that electroNic had a performance and a half, a monstrosity of a game. Against the Polish side. He ended the game on a phenomenal score. He did a 41-10, which is the third best individual performance in terms of kills on LAN in the history of CS:GO. Which is quite impressive. So I thought to myself, you know what, this deserves a quick demo review. So there I am. I was actually getting ready to go to bed. You can even see my bed right there. I had my book on the side ready for me. But I said to myself, you know what, I want to watch this game, because I watched the game, but I didn't see, like, I didn't really see electronic's POV all that much, and I wasn't, well, I saw most of the kills, but I didn't really focus on just looking at his POV only. And I was like, you know what, this is a demo that we have to go through. So here we are, demo review. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we are in the server already. Dust 2, electroNic. Obviously, we were watching this in his settings. So he's using, I believe, 1280 by 960 stretched. He used to play on Full HD for some time. And then obviously the crosshair is his, and for those of you wondering, he's playing on I think 2.2 cents on 400 DPI, which is great as well. But yeah, 41-10 he did, which is again is the third best performance on LAN from a pro player. The first one was Crims against MIPR. That was in Pro League season 10, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a 44 kill performance from him in the first 30 rounds, which was you know, impressive. The game actually did end in overtime, and he had 47 in the end of it, but he got the 44 in regulation, so I guess it counts. I guess we count that one. You can see he's fairly aggressive from the get-go. It's just a quick 1-for-1. You know what, I'm actually gonna rewatch the entire thing. So even if electroNic goes down, we're gonna continue watching the game as he's dead. Gets a 1-for-1 here. Not too much to speak about, but it's really impressive, right? Because there's been a lot of talks about him being the IGL. Now obviously some points and arguments could be made about, you know, you're in Blade system, so it's not that tough to pick up the IGL role. It's always tough to pick up the IGL role. I mean, yeah, okay, it might be a little bit different compared to other teams. It might be a little bit easier for you, but in the end of the day, when you're the guy that needs to give all the calls mid round, and you're the guy that needs to choose what to go with, even though you have such a strict game plan, it's always gonna make it a little bit tougher for you. Especially when you're used to, you know, being vocal in the team, but not really being the captain. You're used to being one of the stars. But yeah, third best. The second one was one that I didn't know, actually. Props to Trav for this one. Travis, he let me know about this one. It's actually a player called Zelen. He had 43 kills on Cobblestone in a tier 3 LAN event a couple years ago, which I didn't know about. I must admit that. Something that's interesting though, I feel like electroNic after this game is the player with the highest kills per round ratio in a LAN game ever. Now I'm pretty sure, like, in tier 1 environment he's number 2, and number 3 is Nico in ECS finals season 4, I believe it was. He had a 40 kill game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was against Liquid, but I might lie on this one. I'm pretty sure it's Liquid. So the thing is that Crims needed all 30 rounds for his record, and Nico, I think, played something like 28. So electroNic's actually the one to do it with the least rounds to get over that 40 mark, which is quite impressive. A nice little triple from him here, but It was obviously just the eco, so nothing too spectacular just yet, you know. It's just a normal game. You know, NaVi does too, CT side. They love playing against Polish sides, by the way. I still remember the game. I think it was the beginning of the year. I think it was the first Pro League season of the year, so it must have been season 15 they played. They were in a group with AGO, and it was again like it was a complete bloodbath. I think it was a 16-5 or 16-4. But it failed Molotov here. Not really gonna cost him. His first buy round as well. But you know, electroNic, he's been a fairly impressive guy, truth be told. I mean, it's actually interesting because he had a bit of a slower start of the year, and then he picked up the IGO role, obviously, after everything that happened with Boomage. And we're not gonna get into it right now, but his stats actually went a little bit up after that. Feels like he's finding his comfort in being the leader, and you can see he's moving a lot here on the CT side. So that's actually interesting. This is something I actually noticed. Didn't really note the exact number of it, but his utility damage here was really good, and you can see even from the first buy round, you know, chicken in really nice nades, softening up those T's. And you're gonna notice that a whole lot, right? So right now you could see NaVi expect Illuminar to go for that split, but electroNic is still quite comfortable that he's going to be able to do to hold short on his own. So he has a lot of trust in his teammates towards long right now to stop the initial play. Obviously they don't know that there's going to be the initial play there, but they're just playing a little bit of a default. He's waiting for the sound cue, and as soon as he hears something, he's going to deploy the flash. There it is. There's one. Sees the second. Tucks in. No reason to pick up that fight. It's a 1 versus 5. Right now he's gonna hear Morel's approach. Actually, Morels wins that fight. That's a nice find, but it's still NaVi to win the round, as they did manage to actually stop. I think it was Simple and SDY that did manage to stop the long play quite easily. So electroNic doesn't really get to do all that much. You know, it's in that scenario, it's just him playing the protocol, like the default style of it, just deploying the nades early on, making sure there's not gonna be any fast plays, and then just falling back towards the back of the side, allowing his teammates to focus a little bit more on long, waiting for the flash, picks up 1 kill, tucks in, wins enough time, and when it's a 5 versus 1, it doesn't really matter that he's gonna go down. So I guess that's one of the reasons we're gonna see him get into a lot of action here, you know, playing the rotation on those two. One of the more exciting roles, let's say. You know, surely not as bad as the anchor, where you just sit around for 30 seconds and then you either are the hero of the round and get 3 kills, or you just get insta pre-fired and you just fall asleep on your crosshair. There's another HE. Not gonna do a lot of damage this time around though. But you can see that the timing on the nades is good. You can see that the communication obviously is great. Obviously we're speaking about NaVi, so all of these things are just gonna be there. You'd expect them to be picture perfect. And now realizing, you can notice how in the previous round when they had the buy round Illuminar, electroNic would go a little bit closer to short. With the way that he was deploying his nades as well, he was alright with picking up the fight. But now when it's just pistols, even though he's got the support of his teammate, they're just playing from the back of the side, nice and easy. Make sure you don't give him away anything. A nice double kill from him. Makes it look casual as well. It was a good Molotov to kind of tear the attack into. You could have seen that Morels and Reeds were already too far committed to actually go back there, and their teammates couldn't really help them out. Nope. A bit scrappy here. Still manages to finish it off, and that's ace number 1. That's great. A nice quick ace. Firing things up. He's already 10-2, by the way. That's, if you were wondering how he's gonna get up to 40 kills until the end of the game, well, after 4 rounds he's already on 10. And that's gonna be how things go from now on. You know, he's been doing a spectacular job, which is kind of nice to see, right? I mean, there was a lot of things being said for NaVi after Pro League, even though obviously Pro League isn't the, I don't want to say isn't the biggest tournament out there, but it's surely not a tournament to get too upset about. But it's still like, if you're a NaVi, you want to be doing better, right? But I guess this is a good start for them, even though it's Illuminar, even though it's a team that didn't originally even make it into the RMR, but took the place of bench heroes. It's still quite decent to see NaVi picking up victories like that, you know? You want the confidence to be up. Some nice movement there. Someone's been hitting the KZ and the B-hop. This time around, they've actually decided to let go of long. No presence there. That's nice, baby. The open electronic's actually going to go down here straight away. Doesn't really get too much action in this one. To be fair, Simple didn't die in the entire first half. This is something that we forgot to mention actually. But Simple didn't die once in the first half, I believe. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. And yeah, just go for the cold zero. When you see them hitting shots like that, it's kind of demoralizing for the other side, you know. Illuminar. A lot of well-known names, obviously. People like Morose, like Tao, have been around for quite a while. Reeds as well, you know. Masked and Exus a bit younger, but it's still a well-known team. Simple's heard that. Get a kill. But yeah, a well-controlled retake, to be fair. Maybe the player towards middle wasn't expecting Simple to wait for him, but that should be the save now. So Illuminar are actually going to pick up their first round here. Simple's going to try and maximize the damage as much as he can. I'm actually curious to hear that from you guys. What do you think about, you know, NaVi right now with the RMR? Because we had a talk with Neo and Retro and Surfer, and they were, I'd say, with some reasoning, not really on the NaVi train. I must admit that I was off the NaVi train for some time as well, and I still don't think, like, this is a victory that's quite spectacular, but it's like, it's spectacular because of the electronic performance. Still doesn't sell me, but it's, I guess it's alright for their confidence. And you know, it's tough to say that NaVi need a confidence boost, but in the end of the day, right now, you have like 6 teams, I'd say, that could potentially win the major even. Obviously, some of them might have better chances, but like 6 teams that feel like are on the same level pretty much. And yeah, I guess even victories like that matter and make the difference in the end of the day. You know, NaVi are going to be walking with high morals. I'm actually not sure who they're going to be playing in day number 2. Matches should be out already. As I said, they just finished the game like 10 minutes ago, so not really sure. But again, focusing on electronic for now. You can see that he's been just moving around a lot. No, saving up his util. One thing I noticed throughout this game, by the way, Illuminar have been playing a lot of defaults, which it just shows that you have respect and you don't really want to throw away chances, you know. And NaVi have been really good at denying their initial like attempts for aggression, but Illuminar, they're just playing the standard defaults, you know, holding middle, top middle for pushes, clearing out lower first, getting middle control. And a lot of the rounds NaVi actually have been giving them the chance to operate with middle, you know. You can see them running a pretty default setup once again, electronic towards the back of the ramp. As soon as he hears something or he gets pushed, he's gonna try and get one kill, then hide in, wait for flashes from the op. Now they should know that there could be a player down CT, and that's just great awareness. You know what's coming when you hear that play, and you know the information from your teammates as well. And now he's gonna hunt this down. That's the bomb dropped, and this should be a round for NaVi again. A lovely triple kill from electronic there. You know, the first kill through the smoke is actually the game changer there, because this is the guy that's initially just gonna stay in CT. This is the guy that's not really gonna move. He's gonna be responsible for controlling the rotations and making sure that what happened after that, you know, electronic just jumping through the smoke and killing people from behind. He wants to make sure that's not gonna happen. But yeah, in the end of the day, it's a really good start for him. 13 and 4. Simple hasn't died yet. Not gonna die until the end of the half again, which is crazy to think about, but yeah. I think this is the first time. Yeah, that was the first time that actually SDY wanted to pick up the fight for long all alone early on. And you could see that Simple, I think this was the first round that Simple actually started middle initially with the AWP from the first couple seconds. So yeah, maybe not going too perfect, but you can see the immediate reaction from NaVi. You have one player that's going to be bid already pushed up in tunnels. You have Perfecto towards middle, and now electronic and Simple are just going to go for the double push towards short, which is just a really good reaction to losing long, you know, especially after Illuminar slowed things down again. It kind of gives you the idea that you might look for something. That's a perfect flash from Perfecto. sets him up for another double, and yeah, that should be another round for Navi here. It's just a good mid-round call, and you know that's the thing though, right? Because I think for electroNic, he feels really comfortable that he's the one giving mid-round calls, because a lot of the time he is the one that's initiating the fights, and you can tell that, like, when you're the one that gives the call, and you're the one that calls the shots, and you know you're the guy that's gonna make the initial contact as well, you're obviously gonna be choosing a place and picking a place that you feel comfortable with, right? I mean, it's, yeah, a lot of the time, if it's best for the team but uncomfortable for you, you're still gonna go for it. But you know, you get to implement your vision a little bit more, obviously. We spoke about the blade factor, and you know, the fact that the system's really well thought of even before the start of the game. But those, and you know, you have all those ifs, buts, and maybes. So Navi know, okay, if SDY goes down 1 for 1, we do that. If they don't commit long, we do that. But you can still see the difference. I feel like electronic's a lot more comfortable with going for a lot of those engagements, and now you can see they didn't really want to risk SDY getting rushed by the pistols and the half by. So you help him out early on. And electroNic, now the reason he's actually getting in towards CT, I believe, this time around, because they know again it's a weaker buy, but he wants to make sure they don't go for the B split once again, because last time around it was kind of fortunate with him getting the kill through the smoke. So you're maybe thinking that Illuminar could try and go for a bit of a B split, but again, he's just gonna peek, drops the bomb, drops the second player. That's round done at this point. And now he can just open up the distance. Now he can just play from the back of the side. He can just let them do whatever. There's another. We just continue farming. Yep, there's number 4. Not gonna give him the ace this time, but he's already halfway through. I mean, we were speaking about him picking up 41 kills and what was it, 21 rounds? As something crazy. Now, well, he's already at 19 after 9 rounds, or after 8, pardon. So I guess it's the way to go. You know, you continue like that. You can see how this happened. I actually got myself a coffee, by the way, for all of you that are watching this in the morning, or you know, the other day. Cheers. I got a coffee because I was low-key going to sleep before this. That's actually the first time I think they'll have to save, and he doesn't really get to have a lot of action. I think Illuminar just switched it up completely, just went for the B scent, and if I remember correctly, there was a lot of utility damage done in that round, and you can see that they're softened up quite low, a lot of those Illuminar players, but Perfecto and Bit just couldn't get anything done. So this is actually that's one of the, I'd say, one of the curses of just being the A player on Dust 2. If the B bomb side doesn't hold on, you just get to save so much. Good for him, he's the rotation player, so even if it's a little bit slower, or if it's a fast mid to B play, he's most of the time he should be ready to react. You know, obviously when you have Simple on the A to BP as well, they're just gonna be moving around quite a lot. So sometimes you might see even Simple go down towards CT, even though he doesn't really do that much. Simple is a guy that, especially on Dust 2, he prefers, you know, playing towards long, supporting SDY. They love the setup with one player towards Spid, and Simple just levitating, you know, towards the middle of long, just turning around, supporting both SDY and electroNic if he's playing from the ramp or from Goose. That's something that Navi do quite a lot. You know, some of you might remember, you know, Simple has some really great highlights. Well, I was about to say he has some really great highlights from this position. He has some really great highlights from every position, but we're here to speak about electroNic right now, you know, setting up his teammates. Boost for Simple, flash for SDY. And now you can see, because of the previous round, he's just gonna straight up make his way towards the B-bomb side, and that's a great call. You have Simple towards short, he's covered a lot of ground, SDY is calm towards long. You actually don't really need electroNic towards the A-bomb side right now, right? And Simple can just play from the back when he starts feeling uncomfortable with them maybe crawling their way towards lower. Illuminar not really having a lot of options. He just has to hide here. Flash is great, but Morel's actually gonna pre-fire him, and that's a bit disappointing. It's kind of fortunate for Navi. Well, not fortunate, but Perfecto does a really good job there. I love the even gonna get the 4. That's just a a perfect hold from Perfecto. But you can see, I believe, on the stream, you could see that I think the first guy or the first two guys weren't really looking towards Perfecto. So still the idea worked, right? The call was good. You know, it was a good reaction to what happened in the previous round. And electroNic going down there actually sealed the bait even more. It's kind of unfortunate. He probably should get the first kill in that scenario, but Morales wins the fight. Then they get the kill onto Bit, but Perfecto was the unknown factor, the unknown entity. And they're going to go for the simple boost again. Didn't really get spotted in the previous round, so you want to continue giving him the chance. You can see this is going to be the default that they implement, but now that they've seen the 3-man stack towards the B-bomb side in the previous round, you don't really expect Illuminar to go for a B play once again. So you can see that electroNic is gonna stay with SDY for a bit. And you know, the reason we're actually like speaking about why NaVi are doing some things and why they're moving around in the way that they are is because this is the man that's responsible for that, right? It's crazy to think about it. It's really crazy to think about it, but it's been a wild ride for him. I'm still, actually, for some of you maybe have watched even CS for even longer than me. I started in around 2016. And you know, I still remember like electroNic is that young prodigy of the Russian scene, and from time to time I actually forget about how good of a player he is right now, and how big of a veteran he is actually. I think that's a better one, but yeah, once again, not really gonna get too much action in this one. Illuminar go for the mid to B play. Yeah, you just walked through. Ooh, that was crappy. Yep, Bit still manages to stay alive, and in the meantime, Simple's gonna pick up a kill, so it's gonna be a 1 versus 1 in the end. Tao versus Simple. A crucial one for the tease, but Simple is gonna win it. Lovely movement. Oh, I say a crucial round for the tease. Wouldn't really affect the economy of NaVi all that much, but it's still, like, you want to pick up as many rounds on the tease side as you can. And Simple's yet to die. Well, we already said it. I kind of teased it, you know, but I'm sure a lot of you have watched the game, or a lot of you have seen it on Twitter. Obviously, the entire social media was just full of tweets about electroNic's performance after this one, which is you know, it's crazy for him. It's crazy for him. I think he needed something like that. I think, like, mentally he's a pretty calm guy, I feel like. Obviously haven't had the chance to speak to him personally, or you know, have a conversation, but he looks like a guy that's really well composed. And now this is the first time he's done that. A lot of the time you'd see, now this is scary. The fact that he manages to stay there all alone in the middle. Obviously he had a player behind him to cover him, but stay there all alone and just turn around and pick up every single kill and make it work with just 2 bullets. This is just how crisp he is on the day. No, that's just Illuminar realizing, okay, we're playing electroNic on LAN right now, and that's a completely different beast. That was crazy. That was insane. A lot of the times you're gonna see Bit in that position actually, and I'm just getting flashbacks from the AGO game that I mentioned from EPL season 15 that took place earlier this year. Bit was actually picking up multi-kills towards lower a lot of the time. You don't really see him go there that much, so NaVi have actually changed their approach just a little bit. Maybe it's just because of Illuminar. I guess we'll find out, but yeah, Illuminar now go for the long play, and actually both SDY and electroNic are gonna get overwhelmed. So yeah, not that fortunate for him this time around, but it's still it's still alright. It's still alright. I'm actually not sure. This is something that I have to look into. Maybe I'll try to look in it and put it in the edit after I'm done watching this game. But I'm actually curious if electroNic's ever had a game with more kills, even in overtime. I bet he has. He must have. I mean, he surely like played a long BO5 series, or just a, or not a BO5. It wouldn't really make sense. It's played, guys. It's played. I'm struggling here, but surely he's played a really long map at some point with a lot of overtimes, and he's gotten over that. But that's without a doubt. a game in a lifetime. That's something that you remember. It's one of the it's one for the history books, you know. You just remember that's gonna be a game that we're gonna be speaking about in maybe 2 or 3 years and be like, you know, tell stories about it to people that have just gotten into CS recently. Obviously, we hope that. Well, I hope that at this point is the game's gonna be cold, or it's still gonna be CS:GO, but with Source 2. But I guess we'll find out. Still great though, simple. Thinking about the KD. Hasn't really gone down, and you know this is crazy as well. I mean, if it wasn't for electroNic, everyone would be speaking about Simple actually not going down a single time this half, but it's just electroNic's been stealing the show. I mean, he's on 23 and 8, and you know it's crazy because he's done so much damage outside of the kills as well. I mean, he's on 6 assists. You can see the utility damage is absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, Perfecto being the player towards B and middle is gonna have a lot of that done as well. But it's yeah. electroNic's been doing a really good job, and it's actually phenomenal utility stats for Dust too. There's another round. Obviously, we want to get back to electroNic. Here you are, buddy. Give a quick boost to Simple. That's something you've been doing quite a lot, and now he's actually gonna be the one supporting towards the B bomb side right now. He's gonna be the one playing with Bit. Perfecto's move towards long this time around. I think he got the spawn as well. And now, another lovely HE gets the first one. He's gonna hide in Bit with a double, and electroNic should be able to pick up that one. That's just picture perfect defense right there. It's just a great defense. electroNic gets the first kill. There were flashed, and then Bit just gets a double, and electroNic finishes it off. Bit doesn't even go down there. That's just a phenomenal round. At this point, he's at 25, and you know a lot of the games that you see, like you see someone have such a performance on the CT side, and you're thinking, okay, 25 and 8 it's still crazy, right? You don't see games like that often, but you think that at some point they're gonna fall off or just slow down a little bit in the second half, right? Because they're gonna be like, okay, now I'm calm, we've won the game, we've secured it. But no, he's gonna continue doing them dirty. There's gonna be a lot more of that. Once again, he's boosted Simple, just playing around middle. First time he's played that angle as well. And you can see for Illuminar, it's really hard to actually get accustomed to the way that NaVi approach the CT side because they're constantly switching things up, right? The only thing that they've done pretty much every single round, well, not every single round, but one of the more common things they've done is boost Simple up short with the AWP. But electroNic just moving around the map constantly, I feel like he's played B at this point as an anchor. He's played B like as the first point of contact. He's played B as the guy towards the back of the side. He's played middle, left and right side towards CT, towards B. He's pushed middle as well this round. He's been boosted up on short. He's played on the A bomb side, dedicated support to SDY. He supported both Simple and SDY, and then rotated back towards middle instantly. So there's actually so much going on in his game on this specific map on the CT side, and you know I feel like that's gonna be a key factor to everybody just stopping NaVi on Dust 2 apparently, because yeah, it's just been a crazy game for him. You know, he's just moving around, he's being so impactful with all the flashes, all the nade damage as well. Maybe not that much with the flashes. I don't think he's on that much, but nade damage has been insane. Yeah, he's on 5, which is decent, not something great, you know, but yeah, utility damage has been phenomenal for him. Nearly 500, which it's something that you'd expect to see on a map like Inferno, I guess. Not that much on a Dust, but yeah, I guess Dust 2 is just becoming a really CT-sided map, I guess. It's still not in the... I think we had the upgraded statistics a couple days ago. Ancient is actually not the most CT-sided map anymore. It's still top 3, but it's like... I think number 1 was Overpass, number 2 was Nuke, and then it was Ancient number 3 or something like that. I might be lying to you a lot, but I think that was the order. I'm pretty sure Ancient was a number 1, but then Dust 2 is like 4th or 5th, which is like in a lot of the actually top tier games, it's you can see the CT side prevailing, and it's more with specific teams, I'd say. You know, you remember the Antwerp run that Spirit had. in the major earlier this year, and their CT side on this was phenomenal, especially because of the double ult from Dexter and Patsy. You know, as soon as they pick up that double ult, it felt like nothing could stop them. And you know, I think that's why this too is an interesting map. Like, it's obviously, by the way, I don't like playing it. I hate playing it, but watching it, like on the CT side, you just have so many options. I mean, it's like, it's not like other maps. You don't have you know, you don't have the options of a let's say an overpass, or even on nuke. I'm not sure if you actually have so much. Well, you have a lot on nuke, but I feel like Dust 2 just has a lot of different approaches with the rotation. You know, rotations are on Dust 2 are really important. It's that kind of a map where I actually try to compare it to nuke, because, you know, it's like on nuke, one wrong step on the rotation is gonna throw you off the round completely. I feel like this too is quite similar in that aspect, but in the same time, it's just like open space, but rotations are still really key. And if you get outmaneuvered for a couple seconds, like if you get into the wrong idea for a second there, you could be thrown under the bus. So, you know, electronic's been doing a really good job of reading the fact. I think there was only one round where they got isolated and they just had to save, or it was two for the entire half, which is actually all right, you know. And it's not like they haven't really been in that scenario where they have to leave a solo holder towards the B bomb side and just stack 3 towards A. Most of the time they've had at least the 3-2 setup, which is, again, if the B players get their kills, you're going to be able to go for the retake at least. Might be a tough one, but you might consider it. But yeah, we're ready to start with the second half. I actually thought about it. There's so much to speak about in this game. I mean, it's yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly really impressive. Let's take a look at that. Double flash molly, IGL sacrifice, get the nades. Horrendous combo, by the way. You know, I love both the knife and the gloves. Don't misunderstand me, but together, no, please, no. They just don't go well. And you can see it's a bit of a defaulting pistol. Now you're just waiting to see if there's going to be any pushes from the CTs towards middle. You know that the Illuminar actually love doing that. They've decided to play it a bit more passive now, but yeah, C4 needed, but it's still right. You could tell, like, in that scenario for NaVi, it's kind of like, if they want to push middle, we're ready to punish that. If they don't, we're just going to use the space. Because if you don't see any movement towards middle, short, lower, nowhere, even deep towards CT, you know, left and right side, past the doors, that probably means they're just playing a default setup here on the CT side, and you can try and take some space. Now, you could be thinking they're going to be leaning a little bit more towards the bomb side, so that's the reason behind that take. It's Morales to pick up the first one and Reeds with the second. You can see, though, the HP is kind of low on 2 players, even though they win all the fights, but the bomb is still going to go down, and we still expect Illuminar to win 2 more rounds in the game, so, you know, they're going to be competitive in some of those. There's electroNic, and a 1 versus 4, 1-2, turns around for the third. That was the low HP player. He spotted the fourth as well. Immediate dink, and this is when you know the game's over, right? I mean, you lose this round if you're Illuminar. It's a 4 versus 1. It's electroNic again. He is the guy without armor. Can't really let anybody hit him because his crosshair is going to be going numb. He's going to be going to a rave party on a Friday night, so yeah, you gotta hit the dinks. But as soon as you hit the initial ding, like, it just feels like every single bullet, that is the first bullet he shoots towards the person, just connects into the head. And it's really tough to mentally recover as a CT from that. You know, you know the feeling. You know the feeling. You see a Glock running towards you, you just get the first bullet into the head. You don't feel like winning the fight anymore. We still have 10 more kills to go from him, by the way, which is crazy to think about. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit more supportive here in that scenario. He's going to be playing a little bit to the back. And you can see in some of those rounds, it feels like they just prefer having him in the clutch. And, you know, the guy that's setting people up, that's a good kill. You can see that he was thinking about it for some time as well. He's even considering the second player. Doesn't really want to get caught off guard. They should know. I think they know Tao is towards the elevator right now. So you're kind of trying to figure out where the remaining CTs are before getting the bomb down. You can see he's still clearing out his behind. Want to make sure. That's a lovely shot from Tao though. I think Illuminar won that round, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, the tags through the smoke. But it's surely going down here, even though this is a... Oh, okay. I don't actually remember that. I think they lost it, but... Yeah, they did. Yeah, okay. And I think he just barely got the defuse. Actually has like 2 seconds more, so it's good. But yeah, Illuminar win a really nice force buy, you know. Tao with a lovely triple kill. Keeps them in the game. You kind of needed that one. But still, like, in a game like that, I guess, like, now NaVi just go for the eco and then you bring up the AKs and you finish it off. Or no. Or you just force it back, obviously. Had the money. No, I'm just starting to realize, I really, like, you know, sometimes you're just so sleepy, it's like you're drunk. I literally watched the game. Like, that just shows, by the way, how much more you miss when you're not watching the demo, and you know how much more you're getting from it when you get the demo, because like you watch the game, all right, but like when you go through the POV, it's a lot different. A lot of things are missing out. I mean, I watched the game. I didn't remember if they won the previous round and if they ecoed their first here. But you know, that maybe has a lot to do with the fact that I was falling asleep while doing it, but yeah. Force by the pistol, just opening up space for electroNic. That's a bit of an awkward one for Morales. Not gonna lie. Maybe he heard SDY wanted to get the kill, but yeah. It's overall a pretty good round for NaVi. I mean, you open up a lot of space for the AK to work with. You can see Bit. He even got a kill there, which is insane. You know, he took the aggro, I think, of the first player, but didn't really go down. electroNic did manage to get the kill quick enough, so Bit was actually able to get into a second fight and even win that one, which allowed electroNic to then turn around and help SDY towards middle. It was just a great play. I guess you could say that's one of those games where everything's just working as it should for NaVi. It's just what you'd expect to see. But yeah, for those of you that actually have missed it, we've had some interesting results today. We had the first 16-0 of the RMR. No, it was G2 against Ecstatic. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit sad for the Ecstatic boys. I didn't really want them to be beaten up that badly. We had Big beat up Sango quite badly as well. It was a 16-3. And then one of the some of the more interesting, I guess, could be Mouse taking OG down 16-10. I'm just looking at them as well because I don't really remember all the results, but yeah, we've had a couple exciting games. I think Nip and Astralis on Nuke was a good one. It was 16-12. Obviously, the game of the day should be FaZe against Gamer Legion. That was a 28-25 for FaZe. Robs did manage to save them. But yeah, Illuminar go again. You're gonna try and make it work with the force. Mask, I think he did manage to get himself into T-spawn there without really getting spotted, so Perfecto had no idea he was getting flanked. And electroNic's just now been called from his teammate towards T-spawn. It's alright, I got this. Should they clear out car, right? Oh, they don't. Okay. electroNic should go down, yep. Morales even follows up. That's a perfect double from Morales there. And yeah, there's the 5th round. So now another buy is going to come through, and the remaining 2 rounds should be picked up by NaVi. But you know, it's crazy to think about it. They actually go for a timeout right now, which is, you know, it's I guess that's normal because you look at how things have been going. Right now, Blade is just standing there being like, you know what, guys, I don't want to look at a game that just goes round for round anymore. Just finish it off, you know. You don't want to be letting those guys back. We've been dominating them, so let's just close it out here and now. Obviously, Simple's died 3 times in the half so far for 4 rounds as well, which is which is devastating for him as well, considering he didn't go down a single time the first half. So you want to close it out. We're yet to see 7 kills from electroNic in the final 2 rounds as well, which is crazy. You know, at this point he's 34-10. Everyone's going crazy, being like, "Oh, this is one of the best games I've seen on a LAN," especially in a. I was about to call it a minor. for me, the RMRs, they're still minors. You know, I'm an old school guy. Well, not really that old school, but old school enough to call it a minor. Going back to the man himself, though, on the entry, we missed that kill. I'm quite sorry for this. No, I should start stealing away ideas from people like Londers. I should put a missed kill counter on the screen somewhere. But yeah, again, you can see like Bit is kind of the guy that's just going in front of electroNic, just setting him up to get those kills, which is, yeah, it's quite awesome. Yeah. Surprise. Controls the spray. Exus wasn't really that prepared. And now, even though he's been tagged down, he's just gonna run through the smoke. He's got so much confidence that Tao isn't gonna be holding for this. He's like, yeah, he's gonna think that I'm gonna be buying time, so I'm just gonna go for the kill. And at this point, you're just feeling it, right? At this point, you just feel so comfortable with going for it. That's gonna be an easy one, an easy pickup. 38. 3 to go for the man at this point. It's just crazy to think about it. I actually said that I was gonna look into tomorrow's matches. Didn't really do that, so now I'm gonna do it. NaVi are playing Mouse. Now that's gonna be an interesting one, you know. Mouse have been looking good. You know, adding exertion to the roster. He's been doing a fine job. You know, making playoffs in EPL as well. Quite impressive. Yeah, at this point, he's just walked in front of everybody. He's like, give me the fights. Give me the kills. I want that record. I want the 40 bomb. And he's even going to get one more there. Gets one more and then goes down for the final one. But you can see even now they're taking their time. They realize both Perfecto and Bit are low on HP. So you don't really want to give it away. Want to secure the bomb plant, even being wary of a potential boost there behind the smoke, so you're gonna wait for this one to fade, so you kind of make sure that the CTs feel uncomfortable going for the boost, and there you have it. There's number 41, and I'm pretty sure he just jumps looking for the kill. Oh no, doesn't really go down another time. Okay, so it's yeah, it's 41-10. That concludes the game. Okay guys, so that was it pretty much. It was a game and a half from electroNic and a game and a half from NaVi. I think a lot of us are gonna remember this for a pretty long time. You know, it was one of the ones to stay. You know, it's a map that's gonna be remembered for some years to come. But yeah, a pretty good start from electroNic. You know, getting himself into CS:GO history with yet another record under his belt. So yeah, I guess from now on you can just look at tomorrow's game. NaVi, they're going to be taking on Mouse. That's going to be an interesting one, and see if he's going to be able to put on another really good performance. Obviously, I think people are going to be a lot more cautious and careful about him, and you know, the way that he's moving around on Dusty on the CT side, and apparently when you just give the time to NaVi and electroNic to play their game, like when you play a little bit slower on Dusty on T side, they feel a lot more comfortable. So maybe pace is the answer to that. I'm really looking forward to the next game that they play on Dusty to see how people are going to counter the movement of electroNic around the map. You know, all the utility damage, all the repositioning around, and just getting himself into comfortable angles. He was just really good at being unpredictable and just doing new stuff, you know, catching people off guard. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the demo review. Leave me a comment below. Maybe give me an idea about another one. Obviously, I wasn't actually planning on doing that many demo reviews, but I was like, you know what, this is a sick game, so we might as well give it a watch. So if you feel like you're enjoying stuff like that, just let me know. Like the video, subscribe, and yes, I guess I'll see you really shortly. Bye bye.